Today, the celestial messengers whisper to your heart a tale gathered from a simple, bustling environment, a place where the human spirit often lets down its guard, allowing deep truths to surface. Envision this person, the one who occupies the quiet corners of your mind, seated in a dimly lit tavern, the air thick with the scent of aged wood and the comforting warmth of shared camaraderie. Laughter and loud, overlapping conversations swirled around them, interspersed with the distant, steady rhythm of a jukebox playing an old country ballad. But their inner world remained untouched by the external noise, while their companions, a small group of sound software developers from a company on the 45th floor, were engrossed in discussing ordinary matters like stock markets and weekend plans. This person stared fixedly into their glass, the condensation blurring the edges of their reality. They were wrestling with a feeling too vast to be contained within the narrow confines of their chest. Each sip they took, rather than dulling their senses, only seemed to bring to the surface a flood of cherished memories, a recognition of a bond that transcended mere affection. It was a silent, intense battle between the desire to hold back and the overwhelming need to surrender to the truth of their soul. And it was in this very vulnerable moment, my dear listeners, that the universe, in its infinite wisdom and perfect timing, decided to step in. The angels, those tireless guardians of the heart, chose that very instant to crack open their spirit completely, allowing the light of truth to pour forth. Between a sudden burst of laughter from the table next to them and the clink of ice, this person spoke far more candidly than they had intended. The words flowed out, unbidden and pure, escaping the careful planning of the conscious mind. In the midst of the tavern's friendly confusion, they suddenly declared a simple, undeniable fact. This is not a fleeting connection. This is the covenant of a lifetime. The few people close enough to hear instantly fell silent. There was no hesitation in their voice, no hint of drunken hyperbole. It was the purest truth emanating from a heart that had carried this conviction in secret for a long, long time. The angels stood there, silent witnesses to the moment a profound love confessed itself without the need for rehearsal or artifice. That spontaneous, unpolished declaration sealed a change that was already in motion. The aftermath of that single, powerful statement was immediate and transformative. This person woke up the following morning, feeling a profound lightness in their head, as if a lifetime of unnecessary weight had been lifted. Their heart, once burdened by the fear of commitment and the anxiety of the unknown, was now settled in a deep, enduring peace. The recollection of their late-night confession returned gradually, not with the sting of embarrassment, but with the quiet reassurance of having finally aligned their inner and outer worlds. It was then they realized that those few, almost carelessly spoken words were a perfect mirror of what their heart had known, beyond any doubt, for a considerable time. The universe, responding to this sincerity, worked its magic, transforming the raw confession into a potent source of courage, unshakable strength, and a clear, compelling drive to take decisive action. In the days that followed, a noticeable shift occurred. This person ceased hiding behind layers of emotional protection. They started to openly and genuinely demonstrate the depth of their affection. The phone calls became more frequent and meaningful. The messages were imbued with a new, undisguised tenderness, and unexpected visits, perhaps just to share a cup of coffee, became their way of seeking your presence. They yearned to be near you, to care for you, and to show, through tangible actions, what the spoken words had so clearly articulated that night. Every deliberate action, every thoughtful gesture, served as a gentle yet firm reminder of the solid, decided nature of their love. Their friends and associates, even the most oblivious among them, began to see the distinct difference. They observed an unfamiliar sparkle in their eyes, a smile that was more ready, more genuine, and a way of speaking about you that was infused with a quiet confidence and certainty. They were, of course, absolutely correct, for the angels had already confirmed it. This feeling was authentic, not a passing infatuation or a sudden impulse. It was a commitment sown deep within the fertile ground of the heart, nurtured over time by shared moments and unwavering care. If this divine narrative resonates deeply with the silent hopes you hold for your own love story, if you feel the invisible hand of your guardian angels guiding you towards a soul-deep connection, then embrace this truth. Hit that subscribe button below this video right now to join our fellowship of enlightened hearts. But please don't let it end there. Leave a comment that comes straight from your spirit. Type, "I claim this eternal love," to solidify this blessing in your personal reality. Remember, every like and every share you give is a form of prayer, amplifying the power of your own love destiny into the cosmos. Your interaction is not just a click. It's a profound act of faith and collaboration with the divine. Share this moment of sacred truth, for true love, like a flame, only grows brighter when it is shared freely. As the sun rose and set over the subsequent days, this person's world became imbued with an internal radiance. Their perception of reality softened, becoming richer and more beautiful. The small, often overlooked details of daily life suddenly gained profound significance. Everything in their existence appeared to pivot around one central, heartfelt ambition: to safeguard and honor the flame of affection they held for you. It was as though the entire architecture of the cosmos had subtly realigned itself to illuminate their true path, the path of sincere commitment. They followed this spiritual guidance with profound faith and a spirit that was wide open to receive and to give. Their demeanor became gentler, their words more transparently honest, and their love, far from demanding attention, matured in a quiet, steady rhythm, anchoring itself firmly within the shared continuity of time. There were no extravagant pledges made, no carefully scripted pronouncements, only the unwavering conviction that you were not a transient figure, not a lucky accident, but the very essence of their future. Destiny itself had issued its initial decree in the intimate shadows of the tavern, when that truth had simply slipped out. This person began to live with a deeper sense of purpose and a more conscious presence. They grasped that genuine love is not measured by grand gestures, but by the commitment to be present, to be a constant, steady haven even when the world is chaotic and attempts to pull everything apart. And that is precisely what they put into practice. They stayed, they supported, they listened without judgment, they tended to your needs. With each passing day, this emotion deepened, becoming more robust and tranquil, like someone who has finally located the long-sought treasure of a lifetime. Outsiders noticed the new, gentle light emanating from them. They often remarked that the night of the spontaneous confession had been the clear starting point of a major turning point. And they were right, for nothing could ever be the same again. That single, unassuming statement transformed everything. It dissolved uncertainty, elevated affection to the level of sacred devotion, and changed simple presence into an all-encompassing love that honors eternity. Today, the angels observe this unfolding love story with serene joy, for they witnessed its true birth, from its unprompted emergence in a common bar to its current evolution into a sentiment capable of withstanding the trials of time. What began as an emotional utterance has been transformed into a silent, day-by-day promise, fulfilled through earnest actions and a wholehearted surrender. This person continued to love patiently, fearlessly, and without the need to validate their feelings to the world. For when love is of such profound purity, it does not need to be declared 1,000 times. It simply reveals itself through the living of life. This is the beautiful, simple way this story took root, born of courage, simplicity, and the clear blessing of the universe. True love, my friends, always finds its greatest strength in the willingness to be vulnerable. This person, who had been laughing in the bar alongside their colleagues, the Han interior designer and the Han veterinarian, felt their heart beating a quick, unfamiliar rhythm, a rhythm that betrayed an emotion too potent to be contained. Between shared drinks and animated discussions about the local basketball team, the defining phrase slipped out, free from any conscious control. You are not just another relationship. You are the covenant of a lifetime. The words cut through the noise, silencing the laughter and settling heavily with truth in the hearts of those who heard them. The nearest companions immediately understood that this was no joke. The silence that followed was not awkward, but deeply respectful of the magnitude of the declaration. The intense sincerity of that moment moved everyone around without any effort required. Having released this powerful truth, this person took a slow, deep breath, feeling the simultaneous weight of commitment and the incredible lightness of liberation. Their entire being seemed more alive, their mind clearer, and every subsequent action carried the undeniable stamp of those sincere words. They fully realized that they had opened themselves up completely, crossing a threshold that would forever change the way they interacted with you. There was no regret, only the absolute awareness of their own courage. Even as their friends eventually resumed their chatter, this person was no longer truly hearing them. Their focus was fixed on the power of their own words and the profound effect they would have. The tavern, the night, the external world could remain mundane, but inside their soul, a revolution had occurred. The universe had registered the vow, and the angels continued to witness every beat of their now wholly devoted heart. As they walked away from the establishment, their body felt lighter, despite the lingering adrenaline. Every step was a tangible reflection of the strength of what had just transpired. They understood that there was no returning to the way things were, and that every future gesture would carry the same sincerity as the phrase they had spoken. On the way home, every detail of the confession replayed in their mind, the firmness and clarity of their voice, the intensity of their gaze at the moment of the declaration, the respectful hush that had enveloped the scene. All of these elements became the bedrock of their reformed conduct toward you. Every action from then on was guided by the truth they had dared to proclaim. They began to act with profound intention. Every touch, every moment of attention, every act of care became a logical, tangible extension of what they had confessed. The need for excess words disappeared, as everything was conveyed through deliberate action. Kindness became more constant, listening deeper, patience more visible. My friends of the heart, if this profound story speaks directly to you, if you recognize in it the echo of a divine promise intended for your own love life, please do not keep this energy contained. Your unique story is a treasure, and this channel exists as a sanctuary for sharing and healing. Do not hesitate for a moment. Subscribe now, not as a mere formality, but as a commitment to linking your energy with this flow of love and revelation. And most importantly, tell us your truth. What are the most beautiful, life-changing declarations you have ever received? What unexpected gesture completely transformed your relationship? Your personal testimonies illuminate our collective path. Feel free to suggest topics for our future explorations, as this channel is nurtured by the light of your shared experiences. We are a family of open hearts, and your voice, your story, is absolutely essential to us. In every conversation, this person began to listen with heightened attention, focusing intently on your every word, on the subtle pauses, on the non-verbal cues you offered. Every single interaction became a concrete demonstration of their declared love, a silent assurance that the confession had not been an empty pronouncement. Sincerity radiated from their eyes, in their manner of approaching you, and in the careful subtlety of their touch. They were in the bar, and although they were sharing a moment with friends, their heart was undergoing a fundamental transformation because they had released a single sentence that changed everything. When they declared that you were no longer just a relationship, but the love of their entire life, the surrounding noise of the tavern faded, and the intensity of their words hung in the air, vibrating in their every gesture and every breath. After that act of profound courage, they understood that every subsequent action had to carry that same level of sincerity, because those words could neither be forgotten nor minimized. Every step they took thereafter reflected the truth and boldness of their declaration. And every thought resonated with new, focused power within their chest. In the days that followed, every outward expression of affection was shaped by the sincerity of their confession. Every smile, every look, every instance of physical contact, even the most fleeting, testified to the constant, unwavering presence of what they had dared to articulate. This person began to act with deliberate intention, acutely aware of every detail, as if each movement was a direct continuation of the courage they found that night. Tenderness found new forms of expression, quieter yet firmer, and every thoughtful effort directed toward you conveyed far more than mere words. It transmitted pure intention and an unshakable presence. When they spoke with you, their voice was filled with deliberate care and deep attention, and every movement made during the conversation reflected the love they had announced. The dedication to hearing your every word grew immense, and acts of thoughtful care emerged naturally, without strain, as a seamless extension of the tavern confession. They began to act with continuous presence, looking at you with disarming sincerity, and every touch, no matter how casual, carried the conviction of their committed vow. Every minor detail of your daily shared life became an opportunity to prove that the confession was not fleeting, but genuinely and deeply felt. Their way of walking beside you, their respect for the space between you, their attention to your mood and your needs, all began to reflect the weight and meaning of their spoken phrase. They acted with a new gentleness, unhurried, yet with the clear intent that every gesture was a vector for care and respect. Every smile held a profound meaning, and every word was chosen to convey their unwavering presence and focus. The sincerity of the confession permeated their every action, transforming the routine into constant, profound demonstrations of love. In moments of silence, they would recall the power of their phrase and feel the sacred responsibility to align their deeds with their words. They learned to wait with patience, but never stopped acting with deep attention, proving that the truth of their confession was their only guide. Every movement, however small, expressed presence, tenderness, and consistency, making every interaction a mark of continuous, authentic care. This person's behavior became one of remarkable integrity and constancy. Every touch, every caring gesture, every glance, every smile became a perfect reflection of the intensity of the confession. They acted with full consciousness, showing complete attention, without excess, but with the certainty of what they had declared. The sincerity of the spoken phrase became the very axis of all their actions, and every movement transmitted presence, care, and truth, making every moment a tangible demonstration of true love. Affection became natural and perpetual, and every daily gesture carried the force of the confession, the evidence that love is not merely declared, but lived out and demonstrated in every waking moment.